Today we're actually going to be fighting people on the internet. We're actually going to be pulling some direct questions from Reddit, the website, and then combating them live on this video. So, let's talk about that. Hey everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If my backdrop looks a little different, I am currently in New York City, but the content must go on. And if you weren't aware, I was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, the no good state of Illinois, the worst, and I could have moved anywhere I wanted to in America. I could have moved to Knoxville, I could have moved to Maryville, Salt Lake City, Boise, Colorado, Boulder, Golden, Flagstaff, there's so many places, any place really. But I chose Northwest Arkansas, and it is by far the best place to live in America, literally by far. So if you ever want to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, let's meet up for coffee, let's talk on the phone, let's do something to kind of explain why Northwest Arkansas is better than literally any other place in America. So without further ado, let's jump right into the content. All right, and the first question we have is actually from B McGeek. That's a choice name. Will NWA ever get a Costco? It was supposed to happen on Pleasant Grove last year, but the property still says sold. Are we ever going to get a Costco in Northwest Arkansas? Someone responded and said, minimum effort 13, that's a name. Lowell wanted to pay for a bunch of street road improvements, and Costco backed out, wanted them to pay for it. But wouldn't Lowell want the tax revenue and the second Costco in the state? Why did Lowell not welcome it? I'm just curious. I don't know what the reasoning. You'd think they'd bring in thousands of dollars of revenue for the city. They'd like that, but I heard they halted it at the city's request. So I've heard multiple versions of this story. I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. We'll start with the first one. The first one is that, this is one of the versions I heard as well. Lowell said, hey, you know, we need you to pay for all these different things, and basically we're not going to help you with all of it, and we want the tax revenue too. I don't really believe that, because that would have been pre-negotiated beforehand, in my opinion. That's just part of the contract, and they wouldn't even announce it. They wouldn't develop plans. It's just, that's not realistic. The second one is probably more realistic, which we'll talk about in a second, and then the third one is partially realistic as well. So the second one, here's what I heard was the more realistic one. Lowell definitely wanted the tax dollars for Costco, and they were willing to pay for some of the improvements to the area, like meaning all the stoplights. The issue is that the land that was purchased was actually at the edge of Rogers, and Rogers had to flip some of the bill of the actual, whatchamacallit, the actual lights and stuff, for getting Costco in there. Rogers didn't want to flip that bill, and Lowell was not willing to give some of the tax revenue back to Rogers. It was in no benefit to Rogers to have that, because they have to do all this maintenance, all this stuff with the state to have these stoplights. It didn't make any sense because they're not getting any tax revenue. So they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Lowell didn't have the cash to actually pay ahead Rogers for that to happen, or flip the bill for that. So it kind of got caught in this weird limbo stage where it's like, well, we don't have the cash, Rogers doesn't want to pay, and Lowell doesn't want to give up the cash to get this done, so they're going to let it sit. Now, the reason being, I think that they're fine with this, is that it's already been permitted. I think that they're just doing a waiting game of a couple of years, and then Costco will be there at some point, because they already have the plans. A lot of the infrastructure meaning like the architectural stuff's already been done. So I think Lowell's just playing a waiting game, in my opinion, so that's my opinion. But the third reason is also, when these issues came about, I would assume the Waltons got involved in some fashion and said, yeah, we're not doing that. So I think when they heard about this, if it was any other development that was going to benefit the area, you can go to the Waltons sometimes and be like, hey, you know, this is going to be a great thing for the area. Do you want any part of this? This time, you ain't getting nothing from them, they say that way. So that's my theory, is that the second reason is probably the more realistic one, and then the first one is definitely part of it as well. And the next question is from Ark Snell? Okay, cool. Which NWA city are poised to have the best, or the highest high-rise, 10 stories or buildings? The topic of vertical development came up at a recent Fayetteville mayor debate, where both Mayor Jordan and Molly Ron, who is a competing mayor for Fayetteville, Mayor Jordan said the taller the better. In a recent USL, which is the soccer league, Rogers Mayor Greg Hines said he believes NWA is about to see a lot more mid to high-rise development, and claimed Rogers is the best position to have the regions for a skyscraper. So given the talk, which area is going to have it? They say Bentonville. Is Bentonville ready for this? Will Fayetteville do this? Will the Waltons oppose it? Cool question. We have some responses back to Rogers. Seemed like it's the only one to have the most urban in the next few years, just based on the last 10 or so. Fayetteville will edge that way, but the locals are involved enough to slow down the process. Yes, that is true. It's impressive to see Rogers change the last couple of years. Both Fayetteville and Rogers have the best poise to get going, both a mix of residential commercial business. Rogers will likely be the first to end up with the most towers, yet flatter terrain, cities less worried about the skyline, general grid layout, easy to access. Fayetteville will likely see the vertical growth in Fayetteville Junction on the south side, or our town, or just that area by Weddington, Gregg, I-49, the whole area. So, okay, cool. Now, my argument here is that I don't think Fayetteville will see those high rises for a long time. There's already been a 16-story permitted hotel going into Rogers. That's gonna happen. It's called the Dream Hotel. I did a video on it, haha. But Rogers is most likely poised to do that, and that is 100% true. They have less concern with the skyline. It's easy access to 49. There's a lot of flat land there, and they already have a lot of stuff already going for it. They have Pinnacle there. They have all the restaurants there. They have all the outdoor mall stuff. There's going to be a sky, I would assume it's going to be probably like a 20 to 25 is going to be the next big one, but that's not going to be for about 3 to 4 years, probably. And that's going to be towards Rogers. Fayetteville isn't going to really allow that because they have rules on the books of how high things can go in Fayetteville. They can eliminate those if they wanted to, but the city council has to approve it first. But at the end of the day, Fayetteville really is a quiet college mountain town. And not that they don't have interest, not that they wouldn't entertain it, but it would have a massive pushback from the local community. Even people that have moved there recently, yeah, they're not about that. So, whereas Rogers, yeah, that's fine, do that because they already set up for it. Bentonville, it'll be a while before that happens. They really want to mirror what Fayetteville is doing and has done, so I don't see that happening. But Rogers, by the Pinnacle area, yeah, that's for sure going to happen. Whoa, I made something for you. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're looking to check out the area, vacation here potentially. I made 3-day itineraries, literally day by day, city by city, place by place, restaurant by restaurant. All the links are below, so go ahead and download them and use them when you get down here. But maybe you're a adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is, there are 3-day itineraries linked down below for you. So definitely go ahead and download them and use them when you get down here. Also, maybe you're using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is, literally Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below, name, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, where do you want to move to North Arkansas? Enter all the information below and make sure to miss a single notification when it comes for home for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, side note, every single Friday I send an email out just talking about all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas. What's going on in downtown Bentonville? What's going on in Fayetteville? What's going on in downtown Rogers? What's going on in the amphitheater? What new business are moving here? What is the first Fridays? When is the first Thursdays? When is the Christmas? So many things all the time. Enter your name below, enter your email below, and make sure you get that email every single Friday. But I need you to be aware, just a heads up, you will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak. But I promise you will be the most informed person eventually when you make it down to Northwest Arkansas. And the next question is from Isles Mile Scott, traffic in Centerton, question mark. Hey guys, I recently moved to South Centerton trying to find the best way to work. Is traffic heavy when you pass directly through Centerton around 7:15 to 7:30 a.m.? I'm trying to get to Rogers from the airport area. And then Cinch 83 said, if you're going to Bentonville from Centerton, it's awful. You're going into Centerton at that time from Bentonville, you're fine. I should have clarified, I'm trying to reach Rogers, and I felt this comment was hilarious. It will be absolute hell from Centerton to Rogers at that hour. No dicing, slicing words on that one, to say the least. There's less combat on this one, to be honest with you. If you're going from Centerton to Rogers, it is not an enjoyable experience, for sure. I'm just gonna put that out there. If you're coming from Rogers to Centerton and that time frame, much better. There's a main hunk of road called 102. It's a highway that goes from Centerton to Bentonville, and it gets jam-packed pretty quickly. Now, Centerton is already making improvements. They've already designed a new road. They're gonna expand it. There's things in the progress, but it's not fast enough. It should have been done probably a year or two ago, but they're just starting it, I think, next year. So construction and living on Centerton to go to Rogers can be a little bit dicey, to say the least. Now, if you're going from Centerton to Bentonville, not as bad. It's not quite absolute hell. Just a little bit of hell. Not absolute, but I do agree. Going from Centerton to Rogers is a pain. Now, if you are coming from LA, Chicago, New York, all those kind of places, it's gonna be pretty easy in my opinion. I came from Chicago, so it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? But if you grew up here or you moved here a couple years back, that has changed a lot in the last couple years. But it is by no means Dallas, LA, Chicago, New York traffic by any shape or form, or Houston, but it's definitely more compact than the last couple years. And the next and last question is from NWA Guy, 1978. Welcome to the channel. Cost to build. What is the average cost to build in Northwest Arkansas? Looking to build around 1,650 to 800 square feet with 3 to 4 bedrooms. Is it cheaper to build up or all one level? Great question. So the short answer is we're going to assume you want to build in Bella Vista. Let's just put that out there. So Bella Vista, great. The reason I want to do that is because it's controllable land pricing, whereas if you go to Bentonville, God only knows the price of that land. If you go to Rogers, I don't even know. If you go to Fayetteville, it's just going to be a lot of acreage. And so it's just going to be hard to say. But let's say, for instance, you go to Bella Vista, you spend $25,000 on a piece of land, maybe 30 if you're feeling really saucy that day. If you're looking to do that, if you work with a builder directly and you are directly involved in the project, you're going to run anywhere and you just kind of do things I would consider average or normal. Granite countertops, a luxury vinyl flooring, a couple windows, a good roof, some unique design style stuff, like a large centerpiece for the kitchen, stuff of that nature. I would consider your normal housing. You're gonna run around 180 to 190. Maybe you can get lower than 180 potentially. Depends on a couple things, of course, meaning like if you go tile, how you do the bathroom, stuff of that nature, it all costs things. But really, for the most part, 180 to 185 is going to be your average number. Now, the difference is that when you are looking at homes to purchase, they're usually going to run between 200 and probably 225 for new construction. Depends on a little bit of stuff. But there are some extra costs builders have to do, a lot more permitting, a lot more holding on to the loans. They have to do just more things. They have to do more things than if you were not directly involved. If you're directly involved, you're going to save some cost. That's where that cost savings come into play. But if you're just buying a regular house in Bella Vista, it's going to run between 200 to 225. So if it's worth it to you to save that money, totally up to you. But most of the time, it's just worth to buy new construction than anything. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is. Literally a starter pack full of all the goodies of Northwest Arkansas. Comes with stickers. It comes with postcards. It comes with a 120-page guide, literally made by me about the whole area itself, about all the cities, all the population, all the medical, all the schools, anything you want to know about Northwest Arkansas comes with this 100-page guide. All my itineraries. It also comes with a Northwest Arkansas, I've created this, Northwest Arkansas coloring book. That is worth the price right there. So enter your name below, enter your address below. Where's this package going to? Enter all the information below and make sure to get that package shipped to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike. I know, that's pretty cool, And I know what you're thinking. It's my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below, make sure you get that package shipped to you right away. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you the $10 tour, so I can kind of show you around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some home for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar would go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, this is the next one.